Hey guys, welcome to another Mask Off Mondays with me, your host, Nicci Lewis. Did you watch the series on revisionist history and wonder, how can I come out of that rut of stinking thinking? Stay tuned and I'll give you 5 actionable items that you can institute today to get your mind out of the past. Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And I want to keep this video very brief. I wanted to call this like a bonus episode because I know we wrapped up the series with the last video. So today I want to give you 5 actionable items that you can institute starting today to help get your mind out of that rut of the revisionist past. Tip number 1. Catch and challenge the narrative. So when you catch yourself rewriting what happened by saying it wasn't bad, or for example, I should have, I should have known better, I could have done this, I could have done that. I want you to pause. You have to begin to take your thoughts into captivity, meaning don't let a thought run wild or run rampant in your mind. This is where we begin to reimagine things, or we become overwhelmed by our thoughts in regards to the past. And if you ever catch yourself harping on or hyper focusing on one aspect or one event in your past, I want you to pause and ask yourself, is this the full truth or a filtered version to protect or punish myself? Change starts with being honest, not just about your actions or how people treated you, but also how you treat yourself. One of the misconceptions about memories is, oh, they're there for a reason. I'm supposed to be remembering this today. No, sometimes you can punish yourself by constantly thinking of things that serve you no good in your current life, and it does not help in your future, your destiny, where you're going. So you have to learn how to take captivity of those thoughts. And then you have to ask yourself, is this memory even the full truth? Is this something that I'm doing to punish myself? Take these thoughts into captivity so that you can tell yourself the truth and not let these false memories run rampant in your mind. Then you have to reframe that with honesty, not idealism or blame. So the first actionable item is start catching these narratives and these memories. Take hold of them. We have to learn how to take that pressure off of ourselves. I think it's a very real saying that sometimes the greatest battlefield is in your mind. When you start to understand that your brain does not remember everything, and the things that you think you remember, the way you remember it, it doesn't guarantee that it is always that way. Sometimes our brains lie to us. Yes, acknowledge the event. Yes, acknowledge your past. No, do not blame. Do not try to find or allow your memories to trick you into anger and blaming, self-blaming, and all of these things. Learn to take your thoughts or the narrative into captivity. Number 2, journal the facts, not feelings first. I have always been a big cheerleader, big believer in journaling or writing your thoughts down. If you have dreams, if you're thinking something, if you have an idea, if you have a thought, write it down. If you don't have time to write it down, get your phone, pull out your voice note, begin to speak what you hear, like what you hear from your memory. Begin to speak that, journal it, but write down what actually happened. So now I'm writing my book, and in my book, I'm only going to tell you the things that actually happened. I'm mature enough to know I don't need to fluff a story. I can share the truth of my experience without additives and preservatives. So I don't search my mind to tell me something or to give me new hints about a memory. I can tell you what happened to me. I can tell you the byproduct, the emotion, the damage, the trauma that came from it. I can tell you how I healed from it. Never talk about extracurricular things. Okay? So you start writing down the things that you actually know happen. Go step by step, like a neutral observer. So it's like you are observing your life, but from a neutral standpoint. You don't insert your feelings. Don't start, allowing these memories to come in and then you react with your feeling first. When you become emotionally mature, you can look at an event and, with a surety, articulate what happened, right? Not going off of your feelings, but as you are your own outsider observing your life, right? Get the timeline straight before layering your emotions or interpretation. This grounds you in reality. When we begin to be honest with ourselves and we speak from a sober mind, a mature place, then we don't allow our emotions to get involved. This brings you to reality, right? This brings you to reality. It keeps you not in wonderland. It doesn't keep you locked in the confines of your imagination. It allows you to speak and articulate clearly what you know to be true. Number 3, talk to someone who was there. Get a reality check from someone who shared the experience. Their version can help snap you out of a distorted memory or confirm what really went down. So you want to be able to, if you are able, talk to someone who was there, especially if it's an aught between, like an event that caused a rift between you and someone else in your past. Maybe there was a third party that was privy to that can tell you. Now, it's up to you if you receive the information or not, but at least that is the correct step into coming out of that, that rut of totally reimagining your life, is to be able to talk to someone who was there, a neutral party that has nothing to gain and nothing to lose by having a conversation with you. And it is up to you if you will now be open enough to receive what you are hearing. So we want to stop the distorted memories. We only operate in truth. We have enough fiction and fairy tale and monstrous stories. We don't need to add more to our thoughts, right? Number 4, notice the shoulds and ifs, if onlys. Language like I should have or if only I had often signals a revisionist loop. Replace those thoughts with what did I do and what can I do now? That shifts the focus forward. This is absolutely for people, especially who, and I believe I touched on it a little bit in one of the other videos, especially for people who feel like maybe they didn't treat people the best in their past, or maybe have had a wild past and you've made a few mistakes and now you're older and you're just like, oh, I shouldn't have, or what if. Even people who have been in relationships and events have happened, and then you'll start trying to figure out, how did I get caught up in that? Oh, I shouldn't have. Oh, I could have done this. I shouldn't have said that. No, we don't live in the past. What happened has happened. Be honest with yourself about what you did, what your role was in said event. What can you do from here on out to make sure you don't make these same mistakes again? That is reality. See, imagination and getting stuck in that loop, and then all of a sudden you're back in that feeling. You start shutting yourself away. You don't want people to be around you, look at you, touch you. You start shutting your heart down, shutting your mind. No, that's a trick. That's because you're stuck in this loop of what I did. Oh, I shouldn't have did this. I shouldn't have said that. Yeah, all of that could be true, but it is the past. What are you going to do from today to make sure that does not happen again? So that you know you are walking out your best self in integrity, right? So let's get rid of the shoulda, woulda, coulda. Yeah, a lot of things you could have done. Yeah, a lot of things maybe you should. Okay, things happen. You are still here. You have survived. No matter how you have survived, you have survived. Tattered, bruised, tired, broke, emotion. You survived. Now, what are you going to do from today to make sure that the rest of your life is greater than what happened in your past? Number 5, set a time limit for reflection. This used to be my biggest issue. I got into reflection and just stay there, constantly reflecting. But you want to set a time limit. Give yourself a specific amount of time to reflect on the past when needed. I need to say that again. Give yourself a specific amount of time to reflect on the past when needed. Reflecting on your past is not needed every day. Every time you see something that looks familiar to your past, that is not a time to reflect. It's not time to reflect when you're sick, because see, what your mind will do is trick you into a deep depression, and you'll be stuck there feeling like whatever rut you're in, you deserve. No, you are supposed to heal, grow, and flourish, not sit and keep reflecting every time. These are things that we do to ourselves because we feel like this is what's supposed to happen. And that's a lie. You're supposed to heal, grow, and flourish. And if you have the opportunity to help someone that may be or have been stuck in the same rut as you help them heal, grow, and flourish, right? Take 15 minutes when it's needed. We're not spending a whole day. I remember one time, someone who I love very dearly, she said to me one time, she said, Nicci, you strong, and I've seen you get up from a lot of stuff, but it takes you so long. Reflect only when needed. 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes tops. And then you got to get off of that subject, get off of that event. And then after that, redirect your attention to something current or actionable. Boundaries help break the cycle. I think a lot of us have a misconception of what boundaries are. A lot of us say boundaries is, okay, I want you to stay over there and that's it. I don't want to deal with you. You don't deal with me. Out of sight, out of mind. But then if you happen to run across the person, you break down internally. That's because that wasn't a healthy boundary. You just put yourself in the confines of your mind, trapped in whatever event made you feel like this in the first place. So not only has the event happened and that was traumatic, but now you're constantly torturing yourself by becoming a prisoner of that same event. And then you become angry, you angry at people. That's not a healthy boundary. Healthy boundaries are, this is my space. This is the way I will treat you. This is the way you must treat me in order for us to have a healthy interaction. And even if you decide, hey, I cannot be around that person, you still have a conversation. For the sake of my well-being, this is after you've verified the facts, you've stopped being emotional, and you can articulate in reality what the event was and what it has done in your life. Once you have done all of that, then you can set a healthy boundary. Hey, for my well-being, this is what happened. This is what I need to happen from here on out. Even if it is, I cannot be in your company. I can't deal with you. That is fine, but don't make it emotional. It doesn't need to turn into some big emotional thing that'll cause another event to happen, and then you regress from whatever progress you have made. No, you articulate, this is how I feel. And these are the things I can accept. These are the things I cannot accept. If you are willing to respect my boundary, we can move on from here. If you cannot respect my boundary, we can move on from here. But I will no longer spend my energy giving myself to this event or this situation the way that it has occurred because it is doing damage to me. This is how we heal, we grow, and we flourish. We move on. We become better versions of ourselves. Everybody may not accept it, but that is not your responsibility to make people accept it. It's not. It's your responsibility to heal yourself, to make sure that you are walking through this life being the best version of you so that you can become a healed individual who's walking around whole and not broken, who can live in truth and not an imaginary past. These are the 5 actionable items that you can institute starting today to get you to that place where you are not harping on your past and you are living free to have a prosperous and abundant future. Again, I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope that this has blessed you. I hope this is something that you can take with you into your private closet. Just get with you and yourself and begin to work on you. You are the most important person in your story. I say this all the time. You matter in your story above everyone else. And if you are not healed and you cannot approach your story in truth and integrity, how can anyone else respect you or your story? So we have to think about those things. And I hope that you can take this into your closet, your private closet. I hope that it heals you really good from the inside out. And I will see you again in 2 weeks with another episode of Mask Off Monday. And until then, peace.